Discipline isn't about doing hard things. It's about deciding who you refuse to disappoint. Why do you refuse to disappoint yourself? And if it's not you you're worried about disappointing, who is it?
Sure, you started with the deep one right off the bat. So I think I need to take that back to when I was growing up. And I'm going to start off with quite a deep part of my life. But my dad passed away when I was 8 years old. And he left a pretty big hole in my family's life. My mom wasn't working at the time, and it was just me and my younger brother. So I think a big part of my motivation and my discipline is not to disappoint the people that showed faith in me growing up. I didn't come from a very successful financial background, and from a young age, a lot of pressure was put on me, not by anyone else, but from myself. I had to become the man of the house at quite a young age, and that is just something that I took upon myself. And no one questioned me, no one asked me questions as to why I was doing the things I was doing. People just gave me the freedom to be that person for my family. And when I think about it now, a lot of my motivation and discipline stems from that period of my life. I don't want to disappoint my family. I don't want to disappoint my brother. I feel like I have been someone that they have looked up to for a very long time. And they are the people ultimately that I want to make proud.
So it's almost like you had to grow up too quickly and you had to be the dad of the family from the very beginning in your dad's absence. And now it's about not letting your family down.
100%. But like I said, no one forced that upon me. And I mean, when you say you have to grow up too quickly, a lot of people would look at that as a bad thing. But I feel those parts of your life are, I like to call them catapult events. There's a few catapult events in my life that maybe we can elaborate on further.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one. My dad passing was a catapult event. But I wouldn't, as horrible as the time was, I wouldn't change it. I think I am the person I am today because of the events that unfolded. And I am grateful for the lessons I've learned throughout the journey. And I'm grateful for the person I am today so that I can help other people in that situation.
The event was a feature of your life, not a bug. It had to happen for you to be who you are today. Before we talk about like those catapult events, there's actually some like interesting statistics I want to read for you. But globally, 1 in 4 children grow up without a biological father in the home. In South Africa, estimates suggest over 60% of children grow up without the biological father present, one of the highest rates in the world. Children raised without the father are 2 to 3 times more likely to experience depression or anxiety, more likely to struggle with discipline, authority, identity, at a higher risk of substance abuse and incarceration, being arrested, more likely to experience academic underperformance, and men who do not live with a biological father are roughly twice as likely to have spent time in jail by the age of 30. So you obviously lost your dad at a pretty young age, and you managed to beat all the statistics and turn yourself into someone that most people are proud of, and I hope that you're proud of. But
Definitely.
do you have advice for people whose dad's not really around right now, maybe a young kid watching this one day?
Well, that's the biggest reason I push so hard, is because I know when a family member is lost at such a young age, you can go one of two paths. You can go down that path where you can almost adopt a victim mentality. You can feel sorry for yourself. You can hate the world. You can resort to theft, alcohol, drugs, whatever it is. But there's also that other path. You can take it on the chin. You can accept life for what it is, and you can build on that.
Yeah.
You can be that figure for your family and your friends so that you can show other people that it's possible. And that is my reason. That is the reason I push so hard. That is the reason I've stayed determined. That's the reason I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day, to show people that despite you having hard times in your life, it is possible to persevere and become the man that you want to be.
Do you think you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder from this? Like you feel like you have something to prove the whole time?
I don't think it's something to prove. I think I am comfortable enough in myself to know that what I'm doing is right. However, I want to be the father to my sons that I didn't have growing up. And that is a big motivating factor for me.
I think what you said is super interesting because there's a very fine line between the two outcomes, right? Because I think the same person that, sees all the negatives in themselves and thinks, man, I'm just shit out of luck. Life wasn't meant for me. I'll never be anything. I'm bad this, I'm bad that. There's a very fine line between that person and the person that looks at all their indeficiencies and they want to go out and do something about it. They want to make a change and they want to be someone they're more proud of. What's that fine line? What do you think it is? Why do some people default to the victim mentality while some people actually manage to grow from their struggles instead?
Honestly, I think it comes down to, and I could be wrong here, but this is just my opinion on the question. When you are growing up without a safety net, no one is coming to save you. And when you say no one's coming to save you, it's not no individual is coming to help you. No one's going to come put food on your table. No one coming to save you means no one is coming to save you from you. So you need to flip that switch in your mind. You need to be proactive about the situation. And you need to write your own future. So that fine line for me, it comes down, I may be speaking out of turn, but it comes down to whether you have a safety net. People that do come from more privileged backgrounds and may have lost a family member could possibly resort to the other things because they know that they are going to be taken care of. They don't need to, they have backup options. Whereas I am my backup option.
Okay, yeah, I think the way I always thought about it is some of it is upbringing. Now, obviously, what happened to you was at a very young age, so the upbringing was much shorter. But I think not just when someone passes away, but when any tragedy befalls someone, they fail the degree, they don't know what they want to do with their life, they go for a bad breakup. If your whole life you've kind of been used to someone else solves my problem, you're going to stay with that attitude of, it's okay, someone's going to come fix it for me. Someone's going to come someday and tell me that all these things that I'm worried about, they're not true, that people actually like me, that I'm good enough, or so on. And I don't believe that's going to ever happen. I think if you think a bunch of stuff in your life is going bad, then it's probably the case. With the smoke, there's fire. And I think trying to numb out the idea of something else can come fix it, or maybe I'm okay, I think that's kind of the pitfall people fall into. It's something that happens a lot with modern therapy, and I'm eventually going to make a whole video on what I think of modern therapy. But I think modern therapy, specifically for men, is not really geared to things that actually help men feel better. Because a lot of modern therapy is, how do you deal with being okay with everything around you? But sometimes things around you are just bad. Sometimes you are 100 kgs overweight. Sometimes you are addicted to substances. Sometimes you don't have anything going in your life. And that's not okay. And you need to be told how to have agency in your life, not that your life is fine as is. Do you have any recommendations on how someone can find more agency in their life, where they can feel like things are within their control? Is it starting small with, controlling doing your dishes every single day? Or is it finding someone you can aspire to be to? Or is it setting a long-term goal and being come heaven or hell, I'm going to go get that long-term goal eventually? What do you think it is?
So I've got quite a bit to unpack here. So number one, every single day, I make a to-do list. Not on my phone, not in my head, with a pen and paper. When I get to work, I make a to-do list. And this to-do list comprises of everything and anything. Things from brushing my teeth, to submitting reports for a project, to going to gym. And in my mind, that keeps me sane. And I feel that every single time you tick off a thing to do, brush your teeth, make your bed, whatever it is, it gives you a sense of accomplishment and motivation to just tackle the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. It's addictive to complete tasks.
Almost like gamify.
Gamify your life.
Yeah.
Level up. Every time you make your bed, well done. Tap yourself on the back. You've made it to level 2.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, there's actually a nice app on you can get on your phone called Happy Cat, which is this exact thing. You put.
Are they sponsoring the podcast?
They're not sponsoring. Maybe they can reach out to me, but right now, not at all. But basically, you can put about 6 or 7 things you want to do throughout at any given day.
Okay.
And every time you take it off, you get XP. And then if you get level up, they give you like, oh, here's a little sword for you, or like here's a new icon or whatever. So it's a nice way of gamifying things. But maybe on that, I think some people would look at that and they would create this list and they'll have like 20 things on there. And the second that they don't get to one, then it's a negative self-talk again of, oh man, I can't even brush my teeth. Oh, I can't even get it out and make my bed. Do you recommend like starting small and building your way up? Or do you think there's more of some people need the deep end approach where it's just from the word go, they're going to go all out?
No. I've got a big inner critic. So I'm one of those people that if if I miss something there, I'll spiral a little bit. So definitely start small. Like anything in life. I mean, if you're starting out in gym, you're not going to go 6 times a week. You're not going to be deadlifting 200 kgs. You're going to start small. You're going to learn the basics. You're going to learn how to do the form. You're going to start with light weights. And then you build on that.
Do you have recommendations of light weights that people can have? Maybe outside of like the, self-care, grooming stuff like brushing your teeth and getting up, but like small habits people can do, like going for a walk or regularly seeing a friend or something along those lines?
Well, then the number one thing is waking up at a regular time. I'm an advocate for waking up at 5 a.m. It's partly because I need to be places at certain times. But if you win your morning, if you wake up at the time that you said you were going to wake up the night before, you have already set the tone for the rest of the day. And it doesn't need to be 5 a.m. If you only need to be up at 7 a.m., then 7 o'clock's fine. But make it consistent. Make it that first little victory.
I always tell people, like, if you wake up at 5 a.m., you're not going to hop onto your computer to watch Netflix. It's just the act of waking up early. It kind of incentivizes you to go do something of this extra productive time.
Yes.
And how that manifests is different for people. Last year, I really wanted to improve my coding. Because for those of you that don't know, I work as a data scientist, so I do a lot of coding. And I didn't have much going on in my life. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to code. And it's maybe not the best practice to wake up at 5 a.m. and sit in front of a screen for 3 hours before sitting in front of another screen for 8 hours. But now at my company, I'm very well recognized as a very proficient coder and a very technical person. So it helped me in some way. But the thing is, like, I got up and it's like, yeah, I could go back to bed, but it's already been made. I've already had a cup of coffee. I'm not going to sit around and scroll my phone for a couple of hours. So now I have to do something with it. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that clip from the interview of Agu. If you want to come onto the podcast, remember, all are welcome. Just fill in the form in the description and we'll see if we can have you on. If you want to watch the full podcast, click on the link here. If you want to watch anything else from the channel, click on the link here. Thanks for watching, guys.